Are you curious about making money on YouTube? Today I'm sitting down with John the Video Guy, a freelance video editor and YouTube creator who took the leap from a 9-to-5 job to building his own business. And he's breaking down exactly how you can monetize your content, grow your channel, and create a brand that lasts. We're talking AdSense, sponsorships, digital products, and the mindset shift you need to make the transition from employee to an entrepreneur. If you've ever thought about starting a YouTube channel or just want to know how creators actually get paid, this is your episode. Let's jump in. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jenny Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Yes, I use manifestation. Yes, I took action. And yes, I created a 7-figure net worth before turning 40. Every week, I'll bring you inspiring stories with money mavens and manifestation masters. From learning how to make more, save more, and grow your wealth to unlocking the power of manifesting your dream life. I am so excited to play in this space with you. Let's jump into creating a life you love. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast. Today, I've got with me here John the Video Guy. So welcome, John.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you doing?
I am great, thank you. And I would love for you to share with the listeners who you are, what is your story, why are you called John the Video Guy?
So yeah, my real name's John Vlach, but I'm known as John the Video Guy. I'm a freelance video editor and content creator on YouTube. I started my own business this past year. I used to work for a company for about 9 years or so, and just this past year, left, started my own business alongside with my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel I started around 3-4 years ago. It's actually going to be 4 years now this March. And I create educational content on that, but I've built up that channel to also complement my business as a freelance video editor. So that's what I do. I'm a freelance video editor and content creator.
Okay, fun. There's so many questions I have around this because you kind of embody that whole, you get to work from home doing the stuff you're doing, right? So what was your career prior? I'm just curious that you were able to say bye-bye to.
Yeah, so I used to work for a DJ and entertainment company. They do live events, weddings, corporate events. They also do like production, like audiovisual. And I interned there actually when I graduated high school. So I graduated high school around 10 years ago, got an internship with them, unpaid. They offered me a part-time job, started working there. And they eventually offered me a full-time position, stayed there for 9 years. I've been there since I was in high school. And for them, I was the creative services manager right before I left. So I managed our whole creative services department, led the graphic design and video editing teams, creating different graphics and videos for events and different clients. So I kind of left. The reason why I left, I want to say it was like the next step in my career as a manager. In that role, I felt like I maxed out kind of everything that I could do in that role. And I just wanted to see where I can take it on my own as a business owner and content creator.
Yeah, that is valid. So you're in the field of the stuff. So you're able to take all your skills and stuff with you, but now you're able to go out and do your own thing. So you don't have the boss telling you when you have to show up, and you don't have somebody telling you this is what your paycheck's going to be. You get to be in control of all that. Fun. Okay, so let's talk about monetization. How does somebody, even if we're just focusing on YouTube here, how does somebody go about monetizing a YouTube channel?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can monetize a YouTube channel. Probably the most common way, the most known way is to become part of the YouTube Partner Program, which is when you reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 4,000 hours of watch time within the last calendar year on your YouTube videos, you can apply to be part of this partner program where you get to collect 50% of the ad revenue that advertisers display on your videos. All the videos that you go and you see before a YouTube video, you can collect the AdSense or the ad revenue that those brands are paying as part of your own revenue. I'm part of that program, so I get that basically a monthly paycheck from YouTube that way. But there's a lot of other ways you can monetize on YouTube as well. I've been getting into a lot of sponsorships and brand deals lately. Since my channel is around video editing, I work with some stock music, stock video brands where they will pay me to talk about their product and service. So that's another way to monetize on YouTube. I also have a digital storefront as well, where I sell templates and stock footage and assets that other video editors can use for their projects. And those
Neat.
are just a few of the ways. But yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can monetize on YouTube.
Yeah, so that's fascinating. So yes, we see the commercials come up, and you can pay YouTube to have that experience where you don't have commercials come up. So 50%, that's pretty decent. Now, I have no idea. When you're talking about 50%, like how much is somebody paying to have their commercial placed there? Is it pennies? Is it dollars? Is it like how much? Say one ad rolls, what typically is the amount of coins you collect for that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for when it comes with the advertisers on YouTube, they basically have what's called a CPM or a cost per mil. And essentially the advertiser will pay a certain dollar amount to be in front of 1,000 eyeballs, essentially, or 1,000 viewers. And that's spread across a bunch of different YouTube channels, a bunch of different videos. And when it comes to the revenue I collect, I basically collect about 50% of that. It's called the RPM. Essentially, I collect part of that based on the amount of views that my videos get. Say my channel does 100,000 views per month, which it typically does. It fluctuates around that volume. If an advertiser pays maybe $20 per thousand views, then you can do the math and be like, okay, I make around 50% of that, and my channel gets 100,000 views. And you can estimate based on that how much you can make. Now, I will say that the advertisers will pay different premiums or different amounts throughout the year sometimes, and it also depends on the video too. So, say if you do a finance related video or a video about business marketing and advertising, there's a lot of brands and advertisers that will pay more to be in those slots because it's a more searched for, it's a more targeted area. Where maybe if you just do a general video and you see a McDonald's ad that's not as targeted, the advertisers are going to pay less because it's more broad. So the more specific in the actual advertisement placement, depending on your video topic, you'll see more revenue. For me and my channel, I see a lot of stock music, stock footage companies advertise on my channel because they know my audience is video editors. So they're going to pay more to be in those ad slots because it's essentially targeted advertising. Because video editors are watching that, they're more likely to click on that advertisement than, let's say, if a Nike ad rolled on my videos, they're probably not going to be as likely to convert. So that's another thing to keep in mind. It really depends on the video and on the channel itself and the content that you create. But that's kind of an overview of how the ads work on YouTube and what essentially the brand pays for 1,000 views, a certain dollar amount, and then I get a percentage of that.
Yeah. Okay. And that takes me to another question then. In there, you were talking about whether you have a niche topic or a broad range topic. Where do you find people having the more success with their channels? Are they the ones that are appealing to women as a broad category, or are they more specific, talking about one specific topic?
I would say when it comes to ad revenue, probably the most successful channels and successful brands are based on SaaS or like software related content because that's the biggest thing is since it's a digital video and people click on the link below, they're going to go and sign up for that trial. You know what I mean? So rather than physical products or services. But I would say it's really niche focus. If you're talking about finance, marketing, business, those are very common, popular very high dollar amount type of niches that you can get on in YouTube. And I'm in that SaaS section because Adobe Creative Cloud, the software I use, or the stock music or footage subscriptions I use, those advertisers are going to pay more. So those are going to be the high target niches if you really want to maximize revenue based on the ads ran on your videos.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to ask you a bit of a personal question here because you've been experienced in this. And I know people are like, oh, I'll start up a YouTube channel, right? That sounds like a really great idea. How long did it take you, or generally does it take someone to get money starting to come in from creating a YouTube channel with the intention that you're going to monetize it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it really depends on the niche because some niches grow quicker or slower than others. I'm kind of in the tutorial niche, so I'm in a slower growth niche. For me, it took around 2 years to start monetizing, actually. It took about a year and a half to get to 1,000 subscribers, but then it took almost 2 years to reach that 4,000 hours of watch time, where then I can apply to become part of that program, and then I can start collecting ad revenue. And even then, even once you get monetized, my channel was maybe only getting 10 to 20,000 views a month, maybe. So I was seeing some revenue, but not a lot. But now, as my channel has grown, it has grown along with that. Now my channel gains around 100,000 views a month. So it's a lot more significant than when you first become monetized. You think you're going to make money right away. You'll make some money, but not a lot. And it really comes with your channel growth over time and the advertisers we talked about before.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's a valid point for people to hang on to here, because I would imagine it's easy to give up in those first year or so when you're not feeling like you're putting in all the work and you're not seeing essentially a reward for your effort, right? So when you started up yours, were you still working at your job when you decided to start this up? Or did you say bye-bye to your job and then tackle it?
Yeah, so I didn't do the full like I'm gonna quit and start my YouTube channel from zero, which I know a lot of creators, people sometimes, do, but I took the other approach where I stayed at my job, I started my YouTube channel, I grew it, and it grew to a point where I felt comfortable where I could supplement that with freelance video editing work. And that's going to be different for everyone. Everyone makes different amounts of money, everyone has different expenses. But for me, I wanted to grow my channel, get it to a point where I felt comfortable enough leaving my job before I did that. Because here's the thing, you don't know if your channel will become monetized or successful or not. You could try for several years and months and it might not grow. But I will say, if you never give up and you just always adapt your content, you will probably find growth or success in one way or another. It just might take varied lengths of time to get there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I really like how you mentioned like the little different pieces to monetize it. So you had said also that you had merchandise or something. So are you selling that through YouTube in clickable links in the description? Or how are people finding out about, say, like, I don't know what you sell. What is it? Shirts or?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a few things I sell. When it comes to physical merchandise, there is a merch store that's linked to my YouTube channel. And this is another benefit of becoming part of the YouTube Partner Program, is that you not only collect the AdSense revenue from the ads being displayed on your videos, but you can also link a merchandise store. So if you have a Shopify store, maybe like a Teespring or a Spreadshirt store where you have like merchandise, you can link it. Essentially, when you watch one of my videos, you'll see like a shelf or like a kind of like a row underneath my video with all the different t-shirts, mugs, coffee mugs, hats with different designs I've created. You can go and purchase that and I get a commission from that. Now, what's nice about that, and depending how you set up your store, I went the automated route where I don't have to actually keep all the inventory of stock t-shirts and stuff with me and I have to print it on when someone orders it, where there's a house or a warehouse that automatically when an order comes in, it's fulfilled and it's sent to them. And all I have to do is just update the website, the design, and make sure that's all working. And that's essentially the merchandise side. There are digital products that I sell as well, and that's primarily through my Patreon. So Patreon's a free resource anyone can start up. It's essentially buy me a coffee membership type of platform, but they also have an online store or shop feature where you can upload certain things and sell things a la carte, essentially. So I've been uploading a lot of templates there. People can join a membership. And each month they get a new asset if they join the membership, or if they see a template that they like, they can just purchase one at a time, essentially.
Okay, neat. Let's just go there for a second because I know I've seen it when my husband's watching things, the whole Patreon thing, and he's like, yeah, I'm supporting this guy because I really like his mission or whatever he's on. So, and that's coming up on YouTube, right? Like it's a clickable thing that comes up on the video screen. Is that correct?
For Patreon, I link it down in the video description. Usually I'll shout it out in the video. So at the beginning, I'm going to be like, today I'm going to show you how to do this. But if you want the template, feel free to go check it out at my Patreon and I'll link it down below. That's how a lot of things can get promoted on your YouTube videos. If you're starting out on YouTube and you're wondering, how do I connect or push people to go and see other things? It's you mention it in the video and you say it's down in the link below, and then people that are interested will go and check that out. But essentially, I just link it in the video description.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Because I feel like we're just in our time today, just going to be the tip of the iceberg here, right? Because it's fascinating, I think, YouTube. I've even got the podcast on YouTube now because that's where people go. The way I look at it, even my dad can find me if I'm on YouTube, right? He gets lost in all the apps and that, but YouTube is just kind of this easy. If my kids want to listen to a song, quite often I'm typing it to YouTube, much to my husband's aghast. He's like, we have Spotify, we have other things, and it's easy, right? So touching on all the different ways people can monetize it, I think is kind of fascinating because there's so many ways they can go with it.
I will also add, even if you're a business or you have a service, that's another way that you can monetize a YouTube channel essentially. Because even like I'm a video editor, and sometimes people watch my content and videos and they reach out to me wondering if I can edit their videos. It's a good way to even promote your business or service, whether you have your own business. It's a good vehicle, almost like free promotion to market your own business, I would say.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's valid. I could see even my husband owns a driving school. He could be on there literally giving like little tutorials. If you could go back in time here, and I realize you came from a similar field of like kind of having some knowledge in your own experience, but what is something that you wish you knew going into YouTube, going into monetizing things on there?
I think I would say the biggest regret in YouTube, I think this can affect monetizing in general, is I think when I first started out on YouTube, I was creating a lot of search-based content. And that's a good way to grow on the channels because after all, YouTube is a search engine. So when you search for things, you can really find exactly what you're looking for in any problem, really. You know what I mean? If I could go back in time, what I'd probably do is maybe focus more on my personality because a lot of people that watch my videos now, they don't really stick around. I hate to say this, but I'm not really building a really connected community, if that makes sense. Where I think leaning into more being yourself, being more personable, trying to drive more community is probably very important if you're starting on YouTube. Where a lot of people, they just watch my videos, and I'm guilty of this too. I watch other people's videos. I just want to know the information and then I leave. So trying to find ways to make people stick around. And a lot of times, like if I add humor to my videos or I be myself, I be more spontaneous in my videos. A lot of people connect more with that. So being yourself, being funny, being humorous, those are good ways to engage your audience, I would say. And it makes people not only see the content, but also stick. You have to almost give them a reason to stay. And why do they want to watch your videos and stay with you and see the next video that you create, essentially? And when I look back at my content, I've done okay with it, but I'm not nearly the best at that. And if I could go back in time, I'd probably adjust that, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair. And that to me is growth. Just from a podcaster standpoint, if I go back and I listen to my first episodes, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you to the people that stuck with me through the beginning, right? Because you're learning, you're trying to, I feel like I'm sure it's the same in the video world, the podcast world. I was trying to just keep myself polished, I guess would be the word. You're trying to uphold some kind of image or reputation. And the more as the episodes go on, the more I am able just to step into being myself, being more relaxed. Sure, I might make some flubs sometimes. Sure, I might swear sometimes, where at first I was like, oh no, I better not do that. What will people think, right? The more you can just be yourself, you are going to start attracting the people that are aligned to you, that like you said, community. And those are the people that you want to be having the conversations back and forth within the comments, right? Those are the people that you want to be sticking around. So thank you for sharing that. That's a very valid point there. And I feel that and resonate with that so much just because looking back and yeah, I could have done things differently. We can't go back in time. All we can do is keep tweaking what we're putting out there now, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. What do you think is your biggest piece of advice for somebody, especially that person who is sitting at their job that just doesn't feel fulfilling anymore? What would be a piece of advice you have for them to make that pivot from the job world out into doing something that they want to do?
That's a good question. Yeah. And I was there. You only have so much time in the day. And I think that was the biggest thing when I look back at like when I launched my channel, I was working full time and my full-time job was really like it was almost like 9 to 9 at some points, especially during the pandemic. It was like really intense. I worked on the weekends essentially when it came to my YouTube channel. It's hard when you start a side hustle to find time to do it. but you have to make decisions on, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? But I will leave your audience with this. It's a Tony Robbins quote. When the pain of being where you are is stronger than the pain of change, then that's when change happens. I feel like that's the quote. So for me, I knew I had to do this if I wanted to see improvement in my life. So I just did whatever I could to do it. And that might not be the same for everyone because you might not like your job, but it might be tolerable. So what I would recommend is just saying, maybe if you have a few spare hours, try to find something that you enjoy. See if you like it. If it's too much, then it's too much. But at the end of the day, we only have so much time. You just have to make the right decisions, I feel like. I don't know if that was good advice or not.
Yeah. No, that is valid. We only have so much time, right? And
Yeah.
I see people that get so hung up on the money piece of it because we all feel like we want more money to do the things, but not all the things cost money. At the end of the day, it really comes down to how can we have the time to do the things that we want to do? And yeah, we'll figure out the money, but the limited resource here is time. Yeah. Thank you for sharing all my random questions that I threw at you because I find this fascinating. And I think that so many people who are in the side gig world, like you said, any kind of business could be starting up a YouTube channel to go alongside this. Where can people reach out to you, catch more of your wisdom and all the goodness that you have to share?
Sure. So if people are interested, you can reach out to me at johnthevideoguy.com. If you are interested in starting your own YouTube channel, I do have a free worksheet that's very valuable if you're trying to create a YouTube channel from scratch, kind of like strategies, things to think through your channel, especially when it comes to monetization, like how do you monetize a channel. So feel free to go grab that. It's on my website at johnthevideoguy.com.
Okay, perfect. I will drop the link in the show notes. And thank you so much for joining me on the show today, John.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Jennifer. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you're looking for ways to manifest more money and more abundance in your life, I invite you to join me in the Manifest More Moolah program. It would be you, me, and a small group of other equally cool humans meeting weekly in a Zoom room, exploring different ways to manifest more money and more abundance into your life. For more details, visit www.manifestationandmoney.com. Thank you for listening to the Manifestation of Money podcast. I truly, truly appreciate all of you for listening. Cheers to creating a life you love and the income streams to support it.